All right, welcome back to Randy's Woodshop. We got Robert number 2 with me today. Robert number 1 he's still broken, so he couldn't make it today. So I figured I'd do a solo video. Today I'm gonna do a video on how to make some easy money. Everybody likes easy money, so you can basically we're gonna build a planter box. You can go to your local hardware store, lumber store, Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those places. And we got some just regular fence boards, some cedar fence boards. They're relatively cheap. Well, not these days. Nothing's cheap these days. But consider what you can sell this finished product for when you're done. It's not a bad price. So, I don't buy very much lumber or material from those big box stores. And most people have a backyard sawmill person somewhere around them, relatively short distance, that mills up lumber and sells it for some side job money or a permanent job. So those are the guys you want to hit up. They usually have better prices than the box stores, obviously. And especially for planter boxes, you don't need dry material. It could be green. It could be soaking wet. So, and you can usually work those guys for a better deal than they're even offering. You buy a quantity like I do, they're a lot more willing to come down on their prices significantly when you drop, $500, $600, $700 in one sitting. So you can get quite a bit from guys like that and fill your truck. So that's what I do. I have my certain guys that I mainly buy from and support. My main guy is Paul. Shout out to Paul. Thanks for all your lumber and good prices and willing to work with me, Paul. Thanks a lot. Randy Woodshop, really appreciate you. So we've got some just general fence boards here from the box store. We wanted to stay true to the box store theme, although we do have some 3/4 inch thick material. That's where you're going to want these backyard guys, because you're not going to find this material at the box store that's 3/4 thick for any good price at all. So, I've gone ahead and pre-cut some pieces here. We basically take our fence boards and we're going to make a 30-inch long by 16-inch wide planter box. So, we take in and milled down some of the 3/4 material to 1.5 inches. And then I've gone ahead and taken my fence boards and I've ripped them in half. So these are 5.5, so half of 5.5, counting for your blade width. Doesn't have to be perfect though. It's just a planter box. So I've gone ahead and ripped those down. Today I'm going to be using my rigid staple gun. We're going to be using 1.25 inch long galvanized staples. So let's go ahead and get to building. Alright, so the first thing I've done is I've cut my 3/4 inch stock by 1.5 inches down to 10 inches long. We're going to go 2 boards tall to make our planter box. So we're going to need a stiffener on the back to build our box. So cut those to 10 inches. These are 5.5, so 5.5 plus 5.5 is 11. But they can be 1 inch short, better short than too long. So we're going to go ahead and put that underneath here on the edge of our board. We're going to flush up the bottom here, nice and flush, and give it 2 staples. Okay, we're going to bring the next board down. And it's a little short here, but that's okay. It's just a planter box. Okay, now we got the same thing on this side. We're going to flush it to the bottom, flush it to the outside. And we're going to shoot 4 staples in here. There we go. Now we've got a little panel with our boards on the inside. Another thing you want to do is, we're dealing with wood, so not all wood is perfect. So you pick the best looking side and face it up towards you. So it'll be on the outside of your planter box. So there's our panel. Gonna go ahead and do this one. Oh, I almost forgot. Silly me. Safety first. Wear your safety glasses. I can tell you from experience, it's a smart thing to do. Alright, so we got 2 panels, okay? We're going to set those right here. We're going to pull our long pieces over. We're going to set it down. We're going to take our panel facing down, and we're gonna line it up to match these guys. We're gonna flush it up, and then we're gonna staple it. Okay, gonna go ahead and put this one bottom down on it as well. Alright, we're going to grab another one. Alright, going to spin it around. You can see it's already taken form here. Going to look for the best side. Yeah, our last board. Look at the best side. Got a little fuzz on her. Give that to the chickens. Alright, so there's our box. We got these pieces in the corners here to stiffen it up and give you a nailer to nail to. And so we're going to go and put some screws in just to make it stronger. Alright, today we're going to be using our Makita impact driver. You can see this thing is very old. I think we've been using this one in the shop for at least 8 years. So we've definitely got our money out of it, and it's still going strong. Can't count how many batteries we've replaced on it, but the tool is still going strong. We also like these Makita extension bit holders. They've got a magnet in them, and they've got a little ring lock. So there ain't nothing more irritating than doing a project and pulling your tool away and the bit falls out. And in a shop like ours, well, it's quite messy. We do a lot of stuff in here, so if I drop it down there, there's a good chance it's going to end up in the burn pile. And the price of these bits are not cheap. So we've also got a Makita bit on there. So we're going to go ahead and put some screws in here to reinforce it. We've got some 1 5/8" exterior screws, and they're yellow, so they'll blend in with the cedar. So I'm not going to put a whole lot in here. I'm just going to put one on each board here, just to give it a little more strength than those staples. So we're just going to put one on each board, in each corner. All right. Also want to note, we got these little magnet dishes. You can get them almost anywhere. You can find them at Harbor Freight on sale. I think I bought them. I think they were like $2, so I picked up about 10 of them. So they work really well. You can put quite a bit of screws in these things, and they're weighted on the bottom, and they're good for moving around the shop and not dropping your screws. Anytime we do decks or some remodels and stuff, building decks and stuff like that, we always take these with us because they're very handy. So pick some up. They work very well. Alright, so we got that screwed off. So we're going to take this basic, simple box, and we're gonna spruce it up and make it look pretty. We're going to trim it out with some simple trim and make it look like a nice looking box. It'll up the value, and it doesn't add really anything to the price. So alright, so we've gone ahead and we've taken our rips. So we ripped our fence boards in half, and we're gonna dress this box up. So we're gonna basically pick the best side of these. We're gonna nail them on the bottom here. Just like that. We're gonna do one on each side. Basically gonna take this plain looking box and dress it up. Gonna put one on the top, one on the bottom. I should have did this top one before I spun it. It's alright. Okay. Alright, now we're gonna put a ripper, and we're gonna put another rip on the other side, the front and the back. One on the bottom. Alright, the box looks pretty good, but we're going to add a couple more touches to make it look even nicer. So, we've taken some of these rips from our fence boards. We've cut them to 10 7/8 long, because this box is 11 inches tall. So, we're just below that. So, we're going to go ahead and take these, and we're going to nail them together, staple them together in a little channel. So we're going to basically flush them up. staple them like that. And we got a little channel. We're going to take that channel and we're going to put it right there in the corners. So let's make these up. There we go. Got those made up, so we're going to put them on here. Just like that. Oh, we're out of the staples. Alright. Excuse me, Robber number 2. You know, you're really in the way. You can help out a little. Alright, we got there some more staples there. Alright, we're going to spin her around. Trick here, look which way the one on this side is and make them the same. When I say that, I mean the end cut where it's butted in on the sides. You might have to flip it and turn it just like I did there. Alright, so there's our box. Got some nice end caps on here. Got it trimmed out. Starting to look like a nice box. So we're almost done. We're going to add a little trim on top of here to give it a nice finished look. Alright, so we've gone ahead and cut our pieces to a 45-degree angle. And we want our pieces to hang out. So we're going to flush them to the inside of the box. So to do that and measure them, you just measure the inside of your box. So I'm at the inside is 16 1/8. And then this way, inside to inside is 28 3/4. Look at that, 28 3/4. So we've done something right here. So that's good. So an easy way to line these up so you're not moving around all over the place. And then you get them nailed down and realize, oh, it wasn't perfectly square. Best thing to do, put one on one side. Flush up the short point on the corners here. And then staple it down. Flush on the inside here. Flush to the inside corners. Alright. Then put your sideboard on. There we go. And just shoot one staple in the corner. Watch out, Robert. I'm going to knock you over. Okay? Then we're going to take the other one. We're going to line it up on that corner. We're going to check our angle. Okay, we're going to shoot one staple here. Then we're going to put our finished piece over here. And kind of squeeze it in and line everything up the best way to make everything look nice and tight and pretty. Alright, there it is. Just nailing it off. Alright. One more touch we're going to do. We're going to take our screws and we're going to put screws in the top flange going down, because usually when you pick these boxes up, you're carrying them around the yard and the garden, you're always grabbing it by the flange. So these staples are great and nice, but they don't hold, they're not going to hold the weight of the box very well. So just to make it so these don't ever come off, We're just gonna put a couple screws in them. Alright, there's our finished box. See, we got a nice horizontal trim here. We got our corner boards on top of that. Gives us an extra little dimensional layer there. We got our top flange on here. Nice and pretty. Gives it a finished look. And in reality, this box, I think we used about 5 or 6 boards to build this box. So at the local box store, they're roughly about $4. So you're about 20-25 bucks to build this box. Relatively cheap, 25 bucks, and you can easily sell this for at least 40 bucks. So you basically double your money. We build a lot of these in our shop, and we look online for places that sell defective boards, and you can find a few of those places that pick up bundles and stacks of these defective boards, and you can usually pick them up for a little cheaper. So I think we picked these boards up for about $1.50 a piece at a couple of our suppliers, and so we end up having about 10 bucks in a box about like this. So $10 in product, and we sell it for 40. So it's a good way to make money. You can source cheap material and cut it up and use it to your benefit. If it's defective or not, it's effective. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and build a garden trellis here. I've got my 3/4 inch thick stock material, and I got 2 pieces that are 1.5 inch rips. They're 1.5 inch wide. So this trellis is actually going to go in the planter box that we just built. So we're going to measure up 12 inches. That's the height just above the top of our planter box. So we're going to measure up 12 inches on both sides. That's where we're going to start our first rail. So I've already cut these rails to hang past 3 inches each side. So we're going to put it on the line, put it on 3, and shoot her down. Okay. Should have started on this side. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Going to measure past 3 inches. Put her on the line. Going to check my measurement. That should be at 26.5. I mean 26. And we're going to shoot a staple down. Okay. Now we're going to put a rail at the very top. So we're going to put it over 3 inches, flush to the top. Yeah, we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to put her on 3 inches, flush to the top. There she is. Okay, now we're going to measure to the center of here. We got 22 1/8 in the middle. So half of 22 1/8 would be 11 1/16. Okay, 11 1/16. Okay, that's going to be the center of this rail. So, well, we're going to be 3 inches past. That's right. So 3 inches pass and center on that mark. Right? This should be already 3 inches. Yes, it is. Okay, we're going to lift it up, look for our mark, place her in the center. Alright. Should have the same number here. 10 7/8. 10 7/8. Okay, we're going to do that one more time in here. So now the center of this one is 10 1/2. So half of 10 1/2. 5 1/4. Right there. Again, 5 1/4. 5 1/4. 5 1/4. Okay, double check it. There it is. 5 1/2. That one's slightly off. That's alright, because it's a trellis. Nobody will know. Are you watching the video? Alright, we're going to hang it 3 pass. There's my 3. Center of the mark. Okay, this one is already at 3. And then we got one more over here. When I'm making these two, I like to put the rip side damn chicken. Alright. Well, sounds like somebody laid an egg. Alright, we'll try to ignore that loud mouth. So we're going to go 3 inches on the center of that mark. There we are. Alright, there we are. Now we're going to go ahead and flip her over here. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put some boards on the back. So once again, we're going to measure the center here. Easy money. It's 23 inches. Half of 23 inches is, 11 1/2. Double check it. There it is, 11 1/2. So we're going to go 11 1/2 down here. Okay. We're working on the back side now. So we're going to take our nice clean rip from the table saw and face it forward. So we're going to flush this up on the top. Center of that mark. Center of that mark. There we go. Oh, we're going to nail these. Okay, now we're going to do that one more time. Or 2 more times. Center of this, we got 11 inches. Half of 11, 5 1/2. 5 1/2. Side should be 11 inches. Look at that, 11 inches. Now we did something right. It's not always the case. 5 1/2. 5 1/2. Okay, again, we're going to take our rip side, because it's nice and clean. Center it on the mark. Face the rip down. Center it on the mark. Okay. One more board. Rip side down. Alright. Well, looks like I shined my first staple, so where'd it go? There it is. So when you're doing something like this, moving a little fast, sometimes it happens. So you always have a nice pair of little cutters here. These staples are pretty thin. So you just get in there and snip it off. Another reason to wear your safety glasses, because that could cause some real damage. Alright, so there's our trellis. Pretty nice looking, pretty fancy. So again, this is our 3/4 material stock. I think we buy it in 1x8s and 6s, whatever we get from the mill. And we rip it down to 1.5 inches. These ones here are ripped down to 3/4 by 3/4. And it's a nice trellis. But there's one more touch we can do to make it a little bit fancier. So, we're taking some of our 3/4 stock and we've cut it to 10 inches. We got 8 of them. So we're going to go ahead and make a little square out of these. So to get a perfect square, when you're building something like this, again, you want to face the cut side from the table saw up. So they're all going the same direction. So we put this one butted to this one, but to be perfectly square, the next one, this one is going to be butted to this one. So that makes sense. Show you why in a minute. Okay, now this one is butted to this one, and this one is butted to this one. So we take the last one, the final one, and it's going to be butted to that one and butted to this one. So what we did is they went around in a circle. Now it's a perfect square. If we would have just butted and butted, it wouldn't have been a perfect square. So now we have a perfect square. So we're going to put this one together, make one more. It's very easy to get that wrong when you've been doing it as long as I have. It's still just as easy to get it wrong. Alright, we got 2 perfect squares there. So now we're going to go ahead and pull this trellis down here. We're going to take these squares and we're going to stick them on just like this. Give it a little bit more of a look. So we're just going to center these up. Just like that. All right, so we've gone ahead and made it one slightly smaller. So we've got, this is a 6-inch pieces. This one's 10-inch. So we kind of give it a another dimension to it. The more dimensions you can get on a product, the more your eye moves around. So the more catchy it gets, and the more ultimately you can sell it. And we're out of staples again. All right. All right, now we got some more staples. All right, there it is. I got a fancy looking trellis. So that did take kind of a good amount of time to build, but what we do in the shop, because we build a lot of these products, we sell a lot every year in the spring, and we'll sit down and we'll just rip a bunch of material to all these sizes and widths that we need, and then we'll get a good stockpile of them, and then we'll build one of these trellises like this, and we'll build it without these diamonds on here, and then we'll have one as a pattern. So I actually have one of these as a pattern in the back of the shop, but today I wanted to show you the process of building it from scratch. And then once you got one built, again without the diamonds, then you just grab your boards and just lay it on top. There's no measuring, and just build them one right after another, fast right on top of this one, and you don't have to measure, and you can build them pretty quickly. So you try to get about 20 or 30 of these built And again, we actually sell multiple sizes of these. This one is just for the box we built today, but we build them in this size for boxes, and we build 4 foot and large and larger and larger. So we build these all year long, and we sell tons of them. So the material in this guy right here is maybe $5 or $6, and if you sell these individually, you can sell them for easily $15-20 a piece. These are super expensive at the box stores due to cedar prices and just labor in general. So if you whip out a lot of these, you can really make some money on them. So we're going to go ahead and get this mounted to our planter box and see what it looks like. Robert number 2's got to go. Got to go, Robert. All right, we got our planter box up here. Gonna go ahead and put this in here. Now when I've built it, you can see I built it slightly higher than the edge so we didn't have any complications. And then I built it inside here, not too tight. Measured, and I left about a ½ inch on either side so I can move it around, and I'm not gonna be fighting it. So last thing you wanna do is fight it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this stapled in. Gonna shoot some staples in it. All right, there she is. Now we're actually gonna go ahead and put some screws from the back side of the box going into that. We're gonna put 4 screws in it. We're gonna go right through that ribbon on the horizontal ribbon on the back. We're gonna go right through there. All right. That's nice and secure, solid, never come off there. And now we've got a planter box with a trellis. So we went from about a $30-40 box to about a $50 or $60 box. So with that little touch. So again, when you're building these planter boxes, if you want to make the money on them, you want to mass produce them. So you want to get your boards, and you want to cut as many boards as your saw will allow you to cut at one time. You're going to cut all your pieces to length and just make a big pile of all your pieces, and then you can do the same motion over and over and build the same box over and over and build multiple boxes. So if you're building them for yourself, it's still a faster way to get them done faster. And if you're building them for a business like us, then it's the same fastness. So there's our box. We're all done. And thanks for watching Randy's Woodshop. Catch us on Facebook and check out our stuff that we make. You can look for our brand. There's our brand. Hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.